Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. This is your Monday morning show. It's 11 a.m., 17th of March. And of course, it's St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you Irish and Irish descendants out there. I hope you're all doing incredibly well. We have a busy show today. We are going to go through the charts. It's a Monday. We have a look at the charts. We have a look at the total market cap. We have a look at Bitcoin dominance, the DXY, all of that kind of good stuff. That's what we're going to start with again today. We're also going to talk, as you would expect, about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Ethereum, Solana. We're going to talk about AI rising. We're going to talk about rugs. And then we're going to talk about something called PAX-G. And again, we want to talk about things where you can put your money after the end of the bull run, things that will hold their value. And PAX-G might be an option for you. And it's not an AI trading bot or anything like that. It's a place to put your money, and it's a synthetic version of gold. So we're going to have a look at that at the end of the show. Now, a few good mornings. KB is in chat, Velvet Rope, Hidden Agendas. Danny is in chat. I hope you are all doing incredibly well. We are going to get through an awful lot of stuff today. I don't know why I pick a Monday to go through all the charts. It's literally the longest day of the week, isn't it? A Monday morning. We've got a little Happy Patrick's Day banner on there as well. And we're going to talk mainly about the money supply. What about the money supply? Well, that's what we're going to go through as well, because it's important. We talk about taking things in context of other things a lot on here. And we try and stress that crypto doesn't live in a bubble. The stocks and shares don't live in a bubble. Politicians don't live in bubbles, although they sometimes believe that they do, and they are independent of you. Everything has to be looked at as an interconnected system or web of different things in life. And we're going to look at the money supply, and I'm going to explain why it's possibly important to keep an eye on that as well. So lots to get through, as you would expect. We're not going to waste any time. Let's get into it. We are going to bring up our YouTube channel as well in a little bit, because we have got up to some mayhem. We made a video about somebody that everybody loves, and I've suggested that they're potentially not all they're cracked up to be. I'll explain why in a minute. One thing that we haven't mentioned on here for a while are these numbers across the top. And today I'm going to point out volume at 70 billion is not that high. Yes, it's a Monday, and 70 billion would be very high for the bear market, but for the bull market, it's not super high. So volume is waning a little bit. There have been some whale games over the weekend as well, which we're going to have a little look at. But Bitcoin is coming in just under 84,000. Ethereum is holding on to 1,900. Again, we've got some prices to the downside. If we go any further to look at, XRP is coming in again a little bit higher than it was on Friday. BNB is having a rip to the upside. BNB is back over $600. Solana still hanging on in there, but we've got some news about Solana to go through in a minute as well. So all in all, no change. I know a few people said in our Telegram group over the weekend, what's going to happen? Nothing is going to happen at the minute. This is a big week. We're going to show you Market Watch in a minute as well, why it's a big week. Binary X is up. I'm going to bring that up to show you what that is. PancakeSwap is up. Cronos. Now, this is an interesting one. Cronos has just voted to mint 70 billion tokens. There were only 30 billion tokens in circulation. They've minted 70 billion. And it's not as bad as it first sounds. They are going to lock them away for about 5 years, and they are going to use them as collateral. But I just think it's creative accountancy, and the optics on it have been terrible, but it's pumping. Make it make sense. OK is also up, BNB, Mantle, Arbitrum. There's a few gainers, not too many losers. And just as we start the stream, the thunder starts. We are about to have, I think it's Conrad, the storm is about to arrive. So the thunder has started. Pi is down. Move, Casper, Celestia, not too many losers in there. So let's get on very quickly. Solana, to celebrate. Solana is 5 years old. Now, I'm thinking back to Solana I must have been on Solana pretty much since inception, because I definitely had not meme coins, NFTs. I definitely had something back in 2020, maybe the end of 2020. Solana is 5 years old, okay? 5 years old, and it's come a long way. It still has a long way to go, but its birthday was yesterday, I believe. Where is Solana going to be in 5 years' time? I think it's still going to be a top 5 asset in crypto. Absolutely, Solana is. Bitcoin will probably still be number 1. And then the question really is Ethereum, XRP, or another, what's going to become the second biggest asset? Now, to celebrate, because that's what we like to do, is the CME Group are going to launch Sol Futures today. Why does this matter? Because although not legally required, when you want to have a Solana ETF, you need to have Solana Futures. Bitcoin, go back to the very beginning, what would it have been now? 2017, 2016, 2017 maybe. We had the launch of Bitcoin Futures, and it coincided with the market collapse for Bitcoin. Again, some people say they did it on purpose, others, it's just a happy coincidence. So we've had Bitcoin Futures since 2017. We only got the Bitcoin ETF in 2024, so that was a 7-year gap. That's not the norm either. I think there is something like an unwritten rule where it's 6 months. So 6 months from today, we should get a Solana ETF. So that would be what? April, May, June, July, August, September 17th is probably the time when we get the Solana ETF. Now, of course, we have Trump in power. Trump doesn't care about these unwritten rules. He's likely to turn around at one of these meetings, crypto summits, or one of these meetings internally and say, just put them live. And they very well may do that. Now, very quickly, I am going to talk a little bit about the money supply today. But the one thing I want to point out to you is I've done a deeper video on this here, which talks about the money supply, printing versus inflation and Bitcoin. Okay, so go and check that out. It's only about 10 minutes. I've also made a video about Gary Stevenson, which hasn't gone down well at all. There are a lot of people throwing their dummies at me at the minute. Gary Stevenson, for those of you that don't know, is called Gary's Economics. He talks a lot about inequality, wealth inequality. He talks about how we need to tax the rich more or whatever. And I have gone through some research on him, found some things out about him, and he is not holier than thou. And potentially he is also not necessarily telling the truth about his history as well. So made a video about it. Lots of the Gary Stevenson fans have come on there and said that they're not happy with that video. But what can I do? I call it as I see it. I've been calling out people for the last 2.5 years, and I'm not going to stop. So go and bark up another tree. I've been calling out Vitalik Buterin for 6 months now. I called out Sam Bankman-Fried. I call people out. I've called out Chris Marszalek. It's not me to hide my opinion of somebody just because somebody doesn't like it. And the point of this channel is I'm never going to ban anybody. You're all entitled to your own opinions. And that's what's important. And if we lose that and we start blocking people because they don't like what I have to say, then that makes me as bad as everybody else. So you can say what you want about me because that's your right. And I have every right to say what I want to say. And that is how it should work. And if I don't agree with Kishan, or Kishan doesn't agree with me, or KB, or Danny, if we don't agree on something, it doesn't mean we don't agree on 95% of other things. So I would want this to be a channel where we don't go out and block people. The only time we'll block anybody is if it becomes personal. And that's a totally different thing. But for now, I'm going to keep comments open on every video I make. And I'm not going to go into making videos bashing people left, right, and center. If I think somebody needs calling out, I'll call them out. Very simple. I do it on X all the time. Now then, Binary X is up 40% today. I've gone and done some research. It's a real estate platform. And again, I would err on the side of caution with anything like this. We've looked at Mantra, we've looked at Ondo. We are, of course, partnered with Maple Finance because we've done our due diligence on them and we know what they're about and we know what they're trying to do. And Ondo and Maple are both revenue and profit-making businesses. Mantra has potential, massive potential, but potential. Binary X, I haven't done the study on its revenue model or its profits or anything else like that. But if it's just launched a token or if it's just launched a new product, then it is likely to rip to the upside. But don't start chasing the tornadoes, or in this case, Conrad the Storm. Don't start chasing it because you're likely to get very wet and potentially hit by lightning. So don't just go and rush out and buy Binary X because it's pumped 40% today. Go and do your own research on it. I'm probably going to have to go and make a video about it because it has pumped so much. But again, I'm expecting tomorrow or Wednesday, it might come down 15 or 20%. So don't just chase everything that's at the top of the 24-hour gainers chart, because that's a rookie mistake. And that's the kind of mistake you make when you get into stocks, shares, or crypto. You just go out and you buy the biggest green thing. And normally there is a profit take involved when something goes up so much. It might go up 200% and you think, brilliant, I'm going to go and buy this coin. Okay, look at how many coins have done that. TON being the biggest example. TON went to 8th or 9th in the top 10. And guess what? It's fallen back. It got to $5 or $6. It's now at, what, 260, 270? So had you put in your $100 at the top, you'd have lost 50%, 60% because the entire market's corrected. So if you're going to buy a coin, you buy it when it's down, if you believe in the project. The same with anything. If you believe in something, if you think TON is a top 5 cryptocurrency because you like the number of users, you like how much money it makes, go and buy TON now. Don't wait for November when it's at, I don't know, $9 or $10. Don't go and buy it then because you're likely to just see nothing but downside. I know it sounds cliche, but buying low and selling high is literally the name of the game. And you chasing these pumps is only going to get you wrecked, which we do not want. Now, this is, I'll make this big enough for you to see. This is the week ahead market watch. Monday, we've got sales. We have a few other bits. Tuesday, we've got housing stats, building stats, great. But this is the key day. Wednesday is the key day. Now, let me bring you up on full screen for 1 second. Okay. Wednesday is the FOMC day. That's the day where Chairman Powell and the team sit down and discuss cutting interest rates. We are 100% certain, according to the market, that we're going to see a rate cut before May. So that means now or April, we're going to see a rate cut. 0.5% unlikely, 0.25% possibly. Now, volatility on this day will be massive. We could wick, we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart in a minute, but we could wick up to 90, 88,000. We could go down to 79, 81,000, okay? The thing to avoid on this day is leverage. Please don't leverage on Wednesday. It's gambling, but that's the big day. Thursday, we've got jobless claims. Again, slightly big news, but Wednesday is the day. So keep an eye on Wednesday. That is what we need to look out for. Now then, let's get into some charts. Quick reminder of where we are. Remember, the DXY was falling last week. We want it to keep falling. Of course we do. Because a weaker dollar is good for America, and it's also massively good for Bitcoin. But look at that. And again, I haven't touched this chart since last Monday. Okay. We found support at the Oracle. He comes in and he just ruins my charts. Where's the color thing on here? Right, 1 second. Let's bring this up again. Circle. He's hidden it. Anyway, I can't see it. Basically, we have found support at this line. The target for me for the DXY is to break down to about 101. That's the target. But we have found some support here. Again, I said last week that what we'd want to do, where is the color picker thingy jobby? There it is. Is it that one? That one. There we go. Okay, what I want to see is this. And then us move back into the channel and then move down. Okay, that's what I want to see. We don't get what we want. That's not how life works. We could very well see that kind of action with a massive move to the upside. Okay, that's what we could see. That's what we don't want. And again, we've got some critical data coming out. We've got the interest rate cuts coming out. We've got jobless. We've got housing this week as well. And if you listen to what Chairman Powell has to say, and this is why it's important to understand the macro, which is what we talk about. Chairman Powell wants 3 things under control. Housing, number 1. Jobs, number 2. How many people are looking for jobs? The more people looking for jobs, then the lower the pressure on the wage inflation. So he doesn't want wages to go up, because wages go up, cost of goods go up. Then finally, inflation. Inflation is at 2.8%. He wants it at 2%. I want to go to the moon. It's never going to happen. He's never going to get 2%. Maybe he gets 2.6, 2.5. Maybe 2.5 is the new 2, potentially. And again, we've kind of got a lot of that. We've kind of got the economy in a position where he can cut rates and not lose face against Trump. That's what it wants to be. Trump wants rates cut tomorrow down to, I don't even know what, probably 0, knowing Donald Trump. But that's not going to benefit the economy because we're going to have inflation. Now, moving on then. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. This hasn't changed in forever. This hasn't changed in forever. Again, we're in this movement. When is this going to break down? Is it ever going to break down? Are we going to get to a point where Bitcoin dominance simply doesn't break down? Are we going to get to that? I know the Oracle has said it on his channel. He said this time it's different. Maybe he is right. And maybe Miles Dusha is right. Maybe Altcoin Daily, maybe some of these other people are all right. Maybe Ben Cowan is right. But I don't believe for 1 minute that Bitcoin dominance is going to go and continue to go on this march constantly without some level of correction. Now, it can. Of course it can. There is no reason why, with the ETFs and institutional adoption and everything else, there is no reason that we do not have that. There's no reason. But it would break every cycle. And therefore, if this happens, then potentially we don't get a November top. Potentially we don't get the alt season. And potentially we don't get a bear market. Maybe it's all finished, okay? Maybe it's done with. Maybe the 4-year cycle is over, okay? But we are only in March. Normally, we will see a pump now before summer, and then we will have the summer lull, and then potentially we have the October, November blow off top, okay? Go back to 2023. When did we go up? October, November. Go back last year. When did we go up? December, January, November, December, January. So end of the month is when Bitcoin finishes strong. The problem really is that Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin in Q1 and Q2. And so far, Ethereum is flapping around on the beach, gasping for air. And we're going to get onto that in a minute. So we are. Now then, let's move on very quickly. This is the total market cap of crypto. Now, again, I haven't touched this chart since I keep deleting that jobs unemployment figure and it just keeps reappearing. Right, this is the biggest, what do the technical people call it? SR flip? This is the chart that I want to keep an eye on, okay? We have come down and found support at 2024's high. That's where we're sitting at. We haven't broken below it. We haven't come down. Okay. If you go back to 2021, okay. Now, a lot of people say that that first top was the top. And that's where they get the argument from that April this year is going to be the all-time high for Bitcoin, and then we're going to die. Okay. But then we had the second top in November. I don't know because I can't predict the future. But what I can say is that we've got this. And again, I don't know, but we're holding it, and we're holding it pretty well. Now, again, the similar one to that is the total cap without Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is the total market cap without the top two dogs. Now, remember, Bitcoin and Ethereum make up probably what, 75% or so, maybe more now, 78% of crypto. And again, this is a different type of chart where we have come back down to here, and we are holding support again. So, as always, this is the most important week in the history of crypto and in the history of Bitcoin. We are using April 2024 as support. It's now March 2025. So we've come back to where we were at the peak of last year. The question now is, are we going to do this or are we going to do this? That's the question. With what's going on in the world right now, I genuinely think that we are going to go up based on macro. The conflict in Eastern Europe is coming to an end. The conflict in the Middle East is likely to come to an end. I've said this before. Inflation is back under control to some degree. Jobs, vacancies are going up. Housing is cooling down in America. All the signs are that we are ready for the money printer to be turned back on. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all of this because this is really something which I covered in that video. All I want to show you is basically, this is the money supply, okay? This is what I was talking about when we've talked about this in the past. This is the total supply of money, and this is what happened during that time. They printed 20, 25, and in some places 30% of their total currency value. They printed it and they gave it to you. And what happens when they give you money? This red line here is inflation. And they print the money here. And what happens after they print money? It spiked. Inflation spiked. And inflation ate away at the money that they gave you. So, inflation is simply there is more demand than supply and prices go up. Why is there more demand than supply? Because they printed the money. They printed all of this money because they made people stay in their houses. Then Chairman Powell comes along and says, right guys, we can't keep doing this kind of stuff. It's going to kill the economy. So what Chairman Powell did was he started quantitative tightening. He started taking money out of the system. And what happened when he took the money out of the system? Inflation came down because he was draining the system. That was causing the demand to come down because goods cost more. Your loaf of bread is now 50% more than it was 4 years ago. Eggs in America, I know there was bird flu, but eggs are still more expensive. Milk is more expensive. Meat is more expensive. Everything's more expensive. The supply chain, the costs of running the supply chain went up, so the cost of goods went up. So he basically drained the excess supply, and that's brought inflation back down to where it was pretty much before the C word. So he's done his job, okay? Because it takes time for money to get into the system. So what's going to happen to this blue line is this is now going to start doing that, going to the upside. And what happens when you put money into the system at a standard 5%, 6% a year? It means your inflation is going to stay at 2 to 3%, of course, because that's the hidden tax that you get. But it also means that Bitcoin is going to be making money. Because if you go, Bitcoin is going to be making gains. So if you go back to 2021, so if you go back to here, which was about, let's call it there, okay? That was in the middle. Well, not at the, actually wasn't at the middle, it's towards the end of COVID. But what happened preceding our all-time high? This money just got shunted into the system, and loads of people went and bought stocks and shares and crypto. Pushes the price up. So that was our all-time high after this run. The question then is, if we go forward to, let's go forward to, hang on a minute. So if we go forward to here, where we think the next all-time high is going to be, this blue line, this money printer has to start again. Now, it's obviously not going to get the COVID pump, but this needs to do this. And that's what everybody's waiting for. So when you hear people say what the money printer needs to go burr, that's quantitative easing. That's the government putting money into the system. And we haven't had that since April 2022. So all this pump we've had to 106,000, that's off the back of demand. That's off the back of additional demand. So Bitcoin has got to 106,000 with high interest rates, raging inflation, the money supply shrinking, and the fallout from the pandemic. And I don't think it's done that badly. I don't think we've done horrifically badly. I think we've done quite well. So that's something to bear in mind. I think once the money printer gets turned back on, that's just another signal that we're going to go on the way to potentially 140, 150,000 this cycle. But again, I can't guarantee anything. I just think that's the way it's going to go. Now, Bitcoin, very quickly, we're going to get into this. Somebody over the weekend put in a bid. It wasn't 379 million in the end. I think it got up to about $450 million using 40x leverage to try and basically suggested that Bitcoin was going to come down. And by Sunday, what you had was you had this war of attrition going on between this guy trying to short the market and all of the other whales trying to push the price up. So you will have seen that we went to, what was it, 85.2 over the weekend, and then we came straight back down to, what, 82.5, something like that. So there was a little bit of volatility on Sunday, and it was simply because of this whale trying to short the market. They got in at 84,000. Liquidation was 86.5. The price got pushed as high as, I think, 85,000. Since this article was written, the position has been closed, and this shorter is now buying Bitcoin. And at the time I stopped monitoring this, I think they'd already bought about 70 Bitcoin. This is just what you hear about people talking about whale games. This was a whale game. They tried to 40x short the market. Everybody on crypto Twitter started talking about it. And I don't know whether this is just somebody trying to, whether it's trying to pump the market, whether it's trying to dump the market, whatever it might be. But this is just a game that to them, when you're talking about $300 or $400 million, that's a lot of money to them. A lot of money to us, sorry. It's not a lot of money to them. They can go out and do that. They can go out and pump the market, dump the market, change sentiment, whatever it might be. It's just the way it is. Now we're coming in at 83.5. We are still in this range. We haven't left this range. There really isn't anything to say about this. Like, again, we could turn over and come down. It's all possible. In fact, if you bring up the bull market support band, you'll see the bull market support band is trying to turn over as well. Get rid of that line, put that back on. Bull market support band is starting to, instead of move up, it's actually starting to move down like that. So the bull market support band is actually now in this channel, which is coming in at 88, 89,000. So if we do get some kind of pump from the FOMC or going into the FOMC, expect that pump to take us to 89,000. What's that from here? 5-6%. It's easily doable. If the FOMC meeting comes out and says we're not going to cut rates, we might do it in April, we might see this move. But again, that line there that I have got on the chart, which is coming in at 74,000, that's my like bottom target, if you like. The top target is 89,000. I don't see us going above 90,000 in the foreseeable future. And that could mean 2 weeks, because the thing that's hard for people at the minute is understanding what Trump is about. And Trump is about shock and awe. Is he still short? I thought he'd closed the short. I read he closed it and bought 70 Bitcoin. Or did he close? Or did he partially close it? I don't know. But I see real volatility in the market because of Trump. Trump is a loose cannon, uses shock and awe to get what he wants. Whether that be using tariffs, whether it be deporting people, whether it be creating the crypto Bitcoin reserve, he's all about trying to shake things up, shake the markets up, shake people up, take people out of their comfort zone. That's what he is good at. Now, you can agree with it or not. I'm not saying whether I agree with it or not, but we could see back in the summer last year that he was going to win this election because the Democrats didn't put up any opposition to him. Okay, Biden wasn't opposition, Harris wasn't opposition. There was no opposition to him. Now, because of that, he's got pretty much free rein to do what he wants. And that's why I think it's so dangerous for the markets, because we talk about the markets wanting certainty. The markets, whether it be stocks, shares, or crypto, they don't know what he's going to do. You know, he can make one tweet and send us, as he did back here. He can make one tweet and send us up $6,000, $7,000, $10,000. He can then tweet again and dump us to $79,000. That's what he's like. And again, it's the problem is that with Trump, you have to try and interpret what he means by what he's saying, because we've moved to this type of world where everything is a soundbite. Everything is a soundbite. And, you know, the TikTok people who've got millions and millions of followers, what do they always say? You have to hit people with a soundbite in the first 5 or 10 seconds to get the attention. And that attention will last for a minute. Okay? That's where we're at. So Donald Trump comes out and says, I'm going to put tariffs on Canada. The headline all over the news, Trump tariffs Canada. But nobody really reads why or what the purpose is. Is he trying to get a better deal from America? Is he trying to actually create those jobs in America? Nobody looks into the headline. They just think, oh, Trump's a madman. And that's all it is. And it's a real shame that we've got to that situation. But maybe we've been there all along. Maybe we've been there all along. And maybe 30 years ago, it was people reading The Sun or the Daily Mirror or whichever one of these other newspapers people had. Maybe they were just getting their information from the newspaper, and now they get it from Sky Sports, Sky News or the BBC, whatever, which is just a digital version of what they've been reading for the last 30 years. So maybe we haven't changed. Maybe we just see it more because we've got social media. And I think that's another thing to bear in mind, is social media is 30-second, 1 minute attention grab, without any depth. Everything looks at people, everybody looks at things at face value, and that's a problem. Okay, now I am not saying that I've been saying this all year, but I have been saying this all year, and it's nice to see that other people agree with me, and I'm not just here in an echo box saying, oh, you know, Vitalik isn't the right type of person to lead. And, you know, I don't mean he's not the right person to lead because he dresses up as Pikachu, although I think that's one of the reasons. I think he just isn't a leader. He's a dev. He's a brilliant dev. Now, this is not just one engineer, okay? This is not just one engineer. This is a lot of people within Ethereum. and a lot of people from out of Ethereum, but they've also got ulterior motives. Justin Sun, for example, has said that he should head up Ethereum and said what he would do. I wouldn't trust anybody like that to run a chain. You need somebody who has the chain's best interest at heart. But for me, that is not Vitalik. He is not a leader. That's the thing I've been saying for 3 months, 4 months. Now, again, we don't need to read too much depth about this because this could be sour grapes by the ex-developer. But a former engineer has raised concerns about the platform's future, warning that a lack of clear leadership is slowing down development. And again, we've made the case. Where is the Ethereum roadmap? I know exactly where the roadmap is for Cardano. I know exactly where the roadmap is for Solana. I know exactly the direction they're heading in. Ethereum, it's all about these technical upgrades that the general public don't know and don't care about, okay? And the problem with Ethereum, for me, is that they are not communicating well enough with their community. They are not telling people what they're going to do. They talk about gas fees, they talk about sharding, they talk about these other things, but they don't talk about them in terms of how that's going to bring Ethereum to the fore. They slashed fees to the layer 2s last year. That was a big, big move for them. That made all of the layer 2s slightly more profitable, but it also slashed fees for you. So instead of the transaction costing you 60 cents, it cost you 15 cents. So it's a bonus for you, it's a bonus for the chains, but also without those fees, Ethereum makes less money and the chains make the same, but they're not profiteering off it. But at the end of the day, if you keep slashing fees, it's a race to zero. Are you going to go up against Solana and try and compete with Solana? Because if you do, you're going to make less money than Solana because Solana does more transactions. It just charges less. So the leadership is, I wholeheartedly agree with this. Decision making has been delayed. Decentralization is a key strength. He also makes it difficult to push through necessary changes. The only proposed EVM upgrade, transient storage, was almost scrapped at the last minute. He believes that without a more structured approach, the network could struggle to stay ahead of competitors. And again, we've seen a lot of decentralization stroke DAO problems in the last 12 months. And I think the DAO and decentralization needs to be looked at in a more cynical way. I think the direction of a chain should be via a DAO. I think the technical development of a chain shouldn't be through a DAO. You can't have an organization where every time it wants to do something, it has to check in with the DAO. It doesn't work that way, and it shouldn't work that way. And therein lies a problem, because then you're going to centralize control, and then you're going to have devs building things that the community might not want. And that's the centralization versus decentralization. That's the key issue. When you decentralize something, it doesn't necessarily make it better. When you centralize something, it doesn't necessarily make it better either. So there needs to be a balance. Faster upgrades could help maintain the platform's dominance in the blockchain space. Again, my issue is with Ethereum. Everybody from the outside knows what Ethereum is, but I don't think the people in Ethereum know what Ethereum is, and I think that's the key. If you've got the likes of BlackRock coming to your chain and using your platform, then you know where your destiny is. Your destiny is to build a solid, robust project that the big boys can use. It's not to play with meme coins. It's not to play with the pump and dumps. It's not to play with NFTs. It's to make something robust to power DeFi. DeFi, that's what Ethereum should be focused on. Solana, let that go and do what it wants with its 75% fake transactions and pump and dumps and whatever. Let it go off and do that and focus on the issues. And there are going to be disagreements, but that's not a bad thing. Just because you disagree with me or I disagree with you, it doesn't mean that's the end. It's not. This finality is a massive problem in the world right now. We should be able to disagree and agree. And within an organization, to have everybody agreeing on everything is a massive, massive problem, because then you have groupthink. Look at the Democrat Party. If you don't agree with us, you're gone. So you end up with a collection of people that all agree with each other, and every time somebody tries to disagree with them, oh, well, go away. There's no critical thinking. With an organisation, you should have disagreements, but you should be man enough within those disagreements to come to an agreement. Okay? And I think Vitalik, he's the key problem. He's the millstone around the neck of Ethereum. And I think it's time that he stood down and let Ethereum carry on its way, but not step down and walk away from the project. Step down and move into the development of the project. So let Vitalik build the project, let the DAO decide the direction. I don't see a problem with that. So development is slow to a halt. Again, this is really bad for Ethereum. All I'll say on this is that it's nice to see that other people are now saying what we've been saying here for 3 months. The biggest problem with Ethereum at the minute is Vitalik. If we can solve that problem, we can then go on to look at the next biggest problem with Ethereum. You can look at Solana and you can say, what's the biggest problem that Solana has got at the minute? Is reputation. It's got a bad reputation for pump and dumps. You can look at Cardano. What's the problem with Cardano? It takes an eternity to build on. You can look at any chain and find the problem, but when the problem becomes too big, the chain becomes a hassle, and that will lower the number of people interested in going near that chain. It's a massive, massive issue. So it is. Good morning, Bullish Bull. He's still short. You know what? He might hold that short until the FOMC. He might hold that short. I don't think his liquidation level is overly high though. 86.5. I don't think that's not far enough away for me. I don't know where his stop losses are either. But yeah, good morning, Bullish Bull. So Solana price eyes $178. Follow a 314 million bridged from Ethereum. Again, you could argue that there are similarities between Solana and Ethereum and Harris and Trump. Everybody argues on Solana. Everybody's shouting at each other every day of the week, but stuff gets done. Stuff gets built. Okay? I use the DeFi on Solana. Nothing comes close. Sonic is doing incredibly well. Yes. I can't use Cardano. I don't like their system. Ethereum, I haven't looked at it in about 5 years because it's clunky and it's expensive. But Solana is going places like Trump. You can hate the pump and dumps. You can hate pump.fun. You can hate the meme culture. You can hate Trump, Melania. You can hate all that. But it's still driving attention and adoption. Ethereum is like the Democrats. They've got no strong leader. They don't have direction. They don't have a clear message. And the person in charge, they need to get rid of, but they won't. And the woman that they appointed as the CEO, brilliant. Let's see what she has to say. But she needs to start coming out and hyping up Ethereum and saying, this is Ethereum 2030, and give an aspirational target for the chain. That's what she needs to do. She needs to have a clear goal, a clear plan of action. If you look at Newcastle United yesterday, they beat Liverpool. Because why? Were they a better team? No. Did they have better players? No. Did they have a game plan that they stuck to? Yes. And did they get the result? Yes. Unfortunately for a Packer and the Liverpool fans out there. So, Ethereum doesn't appear to have a game plan, and it's fragmented. Solana has a game plan. We are going to be crypto retail. We are going to take over. We've got mobile phones. We've got fun. We've got games. We've got everything. Okay? That comes with the baggage of problems, but it has an aspirational goal. And that's the difference. So you could say Solana is the Trump of blockchains, and you could say Ethereum is the Harris of blockchains. That's how I would look at it. Now, it's hit its 50th year anniversary. We've covered that before. We've talked about the fact it's got futures starting today. That's going to bring volatility, if anything. But $314 million worth of tokens coming from Ethereum in a month, that can't continue for 2-3 years, because slowly, Solana will start to cannibalize Ethereum. And I know it will cannibalize Ethereum in certain elements. Ethereum was the go-to chain for such a long time. It had the memes, it had NFTs, it had DeFi, it had everything. And over time, it needs to cement its position for DeFi. But Solana should be given the decolonization of blockchains is where these different elements, which are not core to the function of that blockchain, can go to a different chain and flourish. Okay. Sonic, I watched an interview with Andre Cronje yesterday, the day before. Knows exactly where he's going. Clear roadmap. Is that going to be more of a success than Ethereum? Probably. It will be more of a success than Ethereum. Will it get to the same size as Ethereum? No. But it will have massive success because you have a leader who is leading the way. And that's the key. You know, Anatoly isn't as spoken on X as maybe he should be, but he has other teams in the community that are talking out. You know, we talk about Jupiter and Mu all the time on here. But Camino Finance, Step Finance, they're all active in the community. Where are the Ethereum bros? So I can see Solana having a good bull run. I've said this before, $600 first level, $1,000 is the absolute top. $950 to $1,000 is the absolute top. And again, the more that Trump speaks, the less anybody you listen to on the internet is going to be right. Whether it be me, I say it all the time as well. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Listen to a collective of people and make your own mind up, okay? I am just yet another person that streams and talks about crypto. But my word is not gospel. This is my opinion. I think Solana is going to have a 3, 4, 5x from here. I still think under the right leadership, Ethereum is going to do a 3x from here, okay? But we have plenty of time, and all of these things I'm saying aren't doing you any good because the market is still not moving, but it will at some point. In the long term, a forming cup and handle pattern could send Solana to $3,800. Absolute BS. Never gonna hit $3,800. Never. Okay? That is a pipe dream. And that's one of those things that annoys me to death when you look at these articles. Oh, you know, Ethereum's going to go to $65,000 this bull run. Bitcoin's going to hit $5 million this bull run. It's not going to do that. Where's the money going to come from? Where does the money come from to get those coins to that price? XRP at $150. What are you smoking to get that target? Look at the real world. How much money do we have to have come into crypto in the next 6 months, 9 months to get any of these coins anywhere near these targets? Long term, maybe 10 years down the line, maybe 8 years down the line, maybe 2-3 cycles, which is 8 to 12 years, maybe. But come on, who wrote that? I can't. Pakima, do better than that. That's unrealistic, and it's unfair on people to give them targets. It's unfair on people to say these things, okay? Anyway, I think I've got the Solana chart in here as well. That article was doing so well. Good premise, good content, comes in at the end, absolutely ruins it. David Icke himself. I have a David Icke theory. How long have we got left? Exactly. Good morning, Solo Sky. Right, have we got time? We have got time. I'm going to tell you my David Icke theory. So sit comfortably, okay? I used to work in sales and marketing, and we had this thing called the Corridor of Commitment. Corridor of Commitment is, are you alive? Yes, brilliant. Do you like to eat food? Yes, fantastic. Do you like to eat food that you enjoy? I absolutely love to do that. Do you like to have nice drinks with your nice food? Brilliant. Okay, what kind of food do you like? Oh, I love chicken and love beef. Well, we've got the best chicken and beef for you. Fantastic. Do you want to come to our restaurant? Absolutely. The Corridor of Commitment is getting people to agree with what you say time after time after time. Think about the cow thing. You know, milk, 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 milk. Water, 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 water. Okay? That's the Corridor of Commitment. It's getting your brain to agree with you. Now, the David Icke syndrome is We all agree that rich people are bad, don't we? Absolutely. We all agree that there are a group of rich people that are taking all of your money. Absolutely. We all agree that we can now call them elites then, can't we? Because they're elite because they've got all the money. Absolutely. Okay, so David Icke syndrome is getting you to agree with all of these things. There's a secret cabal of people that run the world. And then they find one of these ones, like the World Economic Forum, and then they say, oh, look at them. They all meet up in Davos, and they all agree how they're all going to make money and how you're all going to end up poor. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, the David Icke syndrome is where he says, and by the way, do you know they're all lizards? That's the David Icke syndrome, okay? It's where you have somebody agreeing with you, and then you come out with an absolutely nonsensical statement. And the problem is that 70% of people will then go along with that statement because they believe it. Yeah, oh yeah, they're all lizards, or the earth is flat, or whatever it might be. And you see it all the time with conspiracy theorist people. They literally go along this line of saying, this is bad, isn't it? Yes, this is bad. This is bad, absolutely. This is really bad. And you know, Walt Disney's still alive and he lives with Elvis and Prince on an island. Oh, yeah, of course they do, yeah. Oh, and that's how these things happen. You end up with the David Icke syndrome, where an article will give you all the facts and it's brilliant to listen to. And, you know, I'm on side with it. I'm on side with it and I totally agree with it. And then they hit you with the fact at the end that you disagree with, but you go ahead with anyway. You know, what do cows drink? Milk. Oh, clearly Bill Gates is a lizard. What? So that's the problem that you have to be aware of, is if you follow one person or two people in crypto or life, eventually, or from time to time, they will hit you with something that you don't agree with, but because everything else they've said is fine, you will then go along with it. And that is the danger. And that, to some extent, is why I made the video about Gary Stevenson. And I said in the video, 19 of his 20 videos that I watched were perfectly fine educational videos that taught you about compound interest, taught you about inflation, taught you about money supply. I totally agree with it. And I've said that in the video, okay? But where I draw the line is who he is focusing the blame on. And that is not right, because I believe that deep down that he's being allowed to say this and allowed to get where he wants to get to because it's part and parcel of what the Labour government want to do, which is to tax rich people. Rich people are not the problem. They are the symptom of a broken system. The system needs fixing, not taxing wealth people. You tax wealth people, two things will happen. You will get enough money for about 8 months out of them, and then they're gone. They've left your country. Okay, point number one. Number two, if you force them to sell their stocks, you are going to get cascading liquidations on all of the major assets, whether it be Alphabet, whether it be Microsoft, whether it be Meta. You get them to sell up and hand over their wealth and you'll crash the stock market. Okay, they are gone. You can't fix them. You need to fix the system. The system's not working. And that's where I think the problem is. So I will call people out and I'm going to continue to do it. Solana is sitting at the price that we highlighted, probably up here. We had our two levels to watch. I also have said, and will continue to say, if we come down into this range, I think this is the range that you buy. Okay, not financial advice, but this is the range I would buy. Anything between $100 and $110, I think, is the kill zone for Solana. That's what I would go after. Now, we're not necessarily going to come down there, which is the problem. We might stay where we are, which is fine, because if we are talking about going to, let's say we're talking about going to $600, that is precisely a 5x from here. So maybe risk reward is, how much further down can we go? We could go at $95, could go to $90, right? So what's that? That is a 33% downside. If we go to, let's say we only go to $300, what's that? That's a 130% upside. So you're then weighing up, when is the good time to buy? Do you want to wait, for example, do you want to wait for it to break? Where's its bull market support band? Do you want it? to wait for it to get above its bull market support band to maybe decide to buy back in. Maybe. Because what could happen is we could do this and bounce off the underneath of it and come down. Or what you could do is you could wait for it to come back up, retest the bull market support band and buy there. Now, it is $194. It's a lot higher than where we are now. It's 50% more than where we are now. But you could do that. A lot of people wait for confirmation of things, okay? I would base my decisions on the macro, the interest rates, the DXY, the money printer being turned back on. I'd base it on that because we were doing really well until the money printer got turned off. And when the money printer got turned off, we didn't really do too well other than the institutional buying. And if you think that's a crypto problem, it's not. If you go and look at the stock market performance and you discount the money supply from that, we haven't gone up in, 17 years, 20 years? The stock market hasn't gone up. The stock market has risen by what it's risen by because they keep printing money. But if you deflate that and you take that away, I don't actually think we've got back to 2006, 2007 levels. I'm sure KB maybe might know a little bit about that as well. But it's just, when you look at things like that, it's like, well, this is all smoke and mirrors. The stock market hasn't gone up. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that you look at Microsoft. Maybe not Microsoft, maybe not a tech stock. Let's say you look at farming stocks. Let's say there's a big farming company. That farming company might have gone up 400% or 200% in the last 30, 40 years. If you discount the money supply, it's probably gone up by 10 or 20%. So all of the dividends, all of this money that's been paid out, all of this wealth accumulation, it's come out of money printing. And who owns all the stocks and shares? The rich people. So the money printer being turned back on makes rich people richer and it keeps you poorer because the money supply causes inflation, which causes you to have less money. So if you don't own a house, if you haven't got stocks and shares, you're going to get poorer. And that's where the system is broken, not to blame the rich people, blame the system. The system doesn't work. 3 AI agents, crypto poised. 3 crypto AI agents poised for a comeback in March. Again, we try and pick up the narratives that aren't in the actual press at the minute. So at the minute, everything is ETFs, everything is Donald Trump, okay? And he'll be happy to have that spotlight on him. But AI agents have fallen out of the limelight, and it's picked out 3 AI agents. Again, I didn't read this article, I read the headline. These are the 3 picks that I have for AI agents. Now, we know about Near Protocol. We know about Render, which I don't hold. I do hold Near. I do hold FET. And these were the 3 that I picked out of the crowd when the hype happened. I picked Virtuals, which is now on multiple chains. I picked AIXBT because really clever people in crypto brought my attention to AIXBT a very long time ago. And I ignored them for months and months and months because I don't follow things that get shielded by other people. And then it's ended up being a really good coin. And AI16Z, they are the 3 coins. Now, again, I hold all 3, but for full clarification, I have tiny, tiny bags of these coins, okay? I have tiny bags of these coins, less than a 4-figure sum of each of these coins, okay? When I mention things like this on the channel, it's not for you to degen 20% of your net worth into. It's to look at your portfolio. Let's say you've got $10,000. Into AI bots, for example, you shouldn't allocate more than 3 or 4%. So you shouldn't put more than, let's say, $100 in each of these. Or if you're going to go and look at them based on market cap, maybe 150, maybe 100, and then maybe 50, okay? Do it that way. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to go and buy a bag of this. Have a reason why you're buying a bag of it. Number one, you might hate AI agents. You don't go anywhere near them. But the point of the matter is, when people tell you, go and buy this, it's an absolute cert, just think of Wolf of Wall Street. Think of that guy sitting on the end of the phone telling you he has an unbelievable opportunity for you. And if you give him 5 minutes of your time, you're going to go and make 1000x your money, okay? Because that's what all of these things are like. They go on and they shill their own bags. That's what they do. They get you to buy. That's not how it should work. You should be trying to find the best value assets to tell your audience about. And in my instance, in AI, in this sector, they are the 3 tokens I have looked at and thought they are the best ones I can find. The FART one I'm never going to cover on here because I think it's a stupid name, okay? But if you're looking for solid AI projects, I'd certainly look at Near, I'd look at Render, and I'd look at FET. They're the serious big AI projects. But for a little bit of fun and games, they are the 3 to go and look at. They've been on your screen long enough now, so you can go and have a look at this. Now, we're going to get on to 2 other bits. I know it's 12 o'clock. I'm going to speed things up a bit. This has been a bit of a longer show than normal. So let's get into this. Right then, Crypto Rug Muncher exposes influencers linked to crypto scams on X, warns cryptocurrency investors, and promotes fraud prevention. Again, what I would say about this is very simple, okay? You are, just give me 1 second. 1 minute. Actually, let me put you on pause for 1 minute. Give me 1 sec. Sorry about that. We have a parcel arriving and I was just checking the door. Right then. So, I follow this chap and they are trying to call out scammers. And you know us, we try and call out scammers. These are the list of accounts that are linked to pump and dumps is the best way to call it. Now, you will know some of these names on here. I will just pick a few out that you will know. Wall Street Bets, you've heard of that one before. Altcoin Gordon, you've heard of that one before. Crypto Banter, Ben Armstrong, you've heard of these people before. Again, I am not saying that they are scammers. This is who Crypto Rug Muncher has said are scammers or linked to scammed projects. Trying to see down here if there's anybody else that comes up. I don't. Frank DeGods, he's another one. He had the DeGods project. Now, I am not here to bash any of those individuals. What I am here to say is that you shouldn't listen to anybody on the internet. Okay? Now, I know what you're saying, or I know what you're thinking. Okay? I cannot sit here and say, trust me, bro, don't trust anybody else, because that is disingenuous. In fact, what we're going to do, I'm going to do the gold thing tomorrow because we're going to run out of time. It is 12:03, so I'm going to finish it here. What I'm going to say is, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to anybody in crypto. Don't listen to anybody in finance. Don't listen to anybody that talks about making money online. Don't listen to anybody, right? At some point, the majority, let's say 95% of them, are going to let you down. If there is a carton of 12 eggs and you know 11 of them are off and bad, would you take the risk of trying to find that one good egg? I would throw them all out, okay? If you've got a pack of steaks and 3 or 4 of them are a little bit green, a little bit dark brown, and one of them's red, what would you do? You'd throw them all out because potentially the red one's just got more colour dye in. So I can't sit here and say to you, follow us and don't listen to anybody else because I'm just as bad as everybody else, okay? There is always a hidden reason behind why people say things. Promoting the channel, selling a book, let's close that down, selling a book, or even going as far as what Crypto Rug Muncher is suggesting there is promoting pump and dumps. Now, I woke up this morning and we had 3 enquiries And I'm thinking, what a great start to a Monday. We've got 3 inquiries, 3 lots of video reviews, 3 lots of projects that want to be associated with us. One of them was a pre-sale, which clearly looks like a rug. So that was a no. The second one was a project that wants to launch an RWA project, but you're not going to get paid for 6 months because we need to do a pre-sale. So that one's straight in the bin as well. Okay. And then the third one was an NFT project, and the NFTs haven't been even announced or minted yet, but they're going to give me 2 or 3 of these NFTs to get this project off the ground. Every single one of those projects that contacted me, I have said no to. And no, I am not St. Peter or St. Michael, but I have personally got a reputation that I want to uphold. I can't make those videos because it's doing you guys no good. It's not doing our channel any good, and it's not doing the industry any good. But I guarantee you that they will have contacted 50 or 60 other people that make videos or content, whatever it might be. And at least 40 of them will make a video. Now you work out, they all get paid $100 for a video, $4,000 maybe it will have cost them to get all these people to make these videos about these tokens, right? They will make potentially $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in that pre-sale and then run off with the money. So if you can put $4,000 in to get $400,000 out, everybody's going to do that. And the only way to fix that is to not do those videos. And no, I'm not going to make a difference to anybody but myself. But the point of the matter is, nobody should be trusted when they talk about crypto. Nobody should be trusted when they talk about finance. And if that means that there are 1 or 2 people out there who are really good, that you listen to them, of course you're going to listen to them to get news and stuff like that. But when they tell you about projects and tokens, don't listen to them. Do your own research. We have Maple Finance on that screen there. I have done a review of Maple Finance. I have looked at their revenue model. I have looked at their profit model. I have looked at their token. I have made a video, half-hour video about that project, okay? And I can hand on heart say it's a legitimate project. They've got a deal with Bitwise. They're listed on Coinbase. Then they're a legitimate business. But if I come on here and say I've got Pennywise the Clown token to launch, and it's great, trust me, bro, it's going to go to $10 billion, you should go and do your own research on that, because you'll probably find out this is a scam token. So always check with everybody you're watching. Don't listen to anybody. Always do your own research. And anyway, I'm going to do the gold article tomorrow. I'm going to leave it on the stream. Thank you, everybody, for tuning on. We didn't get too much negative press today, which was good. So I will see you tomorrow. And the Oracle is streaming in 5 hours. So 5 p.m. the Oracle will stream. Let me bring that up very quickly, actually. Give me 1 second. Let's make sure it's in the calendar. And before we go, we are, by the way, one other thing that we've done is we've made the decision to, for the time being, we're only going to stream on Binance and YouTube. We've made that decision because we are not overly happy with the way and the state of how people are treating streamers on other platforms. And I have taken umbrage with that. Now then, very quickly then, last thing I will say is the Oracle is streaming in 5 hours. Go and give the Oracle, well, give us a follow, first of all. Go and give us a follow. Go and find us on YouTube. Go and give us a follow. We're Crypto Warehouse. Come and see the Oracle in 5 hours' time. Come and say hello to him. If you've got charts that you want looking at, we do that all for free. Okay? And the only thing I would say to you is, if you're not already a VIP member of the channel, we make videos specifically for members that you don't get to see. And I am a lot more honest in here than I am, not honest, that's not the right word at all, open. I'm a lot more open. I'm a lot more unofficial on there. I give you exactly what I think on that channel. So if you want to be an OG member, come and give us a follow. It would really help us out. But that's enough for me now. I am off. Take care. Thank you, KB. Thank you, Bullish Bull, Solo Sky, everybody for coming in today. See you in the morning. Take care.